EcoFarm Conference. Thanks so much for coming. So yeah, go ahead and find your seats out there if you haven't found one yet. Look to your left and right, say hi to your neighbor, meet the people you're going to be hanging out with for the next 4 days. So, thank you guys for coming. We're really excited to get you the first round of fabulous speakers that we've got lined up here tonight. My name is Jessie Flo. I'm the Special Events Coordinator for the Ecological Farming Association. We have a few announcements to start the night off, so you guys all know where we're at with everything. There is no parking on grounds for attendees who are not lodging at EcoFarm or at Asilomar. So you can park on all the streets, but try not to park in the parking lots that are actually on Asilomar grounds if you're not staying on Asilomar grounds. There are some no parking signs, and they do give out tickets. I know from personal experience, so I recommend against that. Your meal times on your cards are not all right. In fact, breakfast is the only one that's correct. Because we, like to change things up on Asilomar and make sure we do things differently than they're accustomed to. So breakfast is from 7:30 to 9 a.m., lunch is from 12 to 2 p.m., and dinner is from 6 to 8 p.m., and that's going to stay consistent throughout the conference, and it's listed in your program on page 41 if you need to check it. If you are not lodging at Asilomar, there is free Wi-Fi available in the social hall, so feel free to go up to Hearst and use that. You can get the password on the desk in the social hall. Everyone received a sweet evaluation in your tote bag, so please fill it out, give us your feedback. We love hearing the things you liked about the conference and the things that you feel like need an improvement as well. So if you do fill it in, you'll find a series of boxes. A lot of them have big polka dots on them, and put your evaluation in there for a chance to win a free pass with meals and lodging to EcoFarm next year. So that should be some good reason to do it. And only complete evaluations, though, will be entered in the chance to win. If you've not bought your meal passes yet, do so as soon as you can. We're working with about a 24-hour out. I'm not sure exactly when, but they'll sell out, and we have to tell Asilomar how much food to prepare ahead of time. So if you're planning on eating with us, please go ahead and buy all those tickets ahead of time. Also, we worked really hard on the meals. They're really delicious, great time to meet people. You want to be there, so go ahead and do that. There are water stations with delicious, refreshing water provided by U.S. Pure Water all over the place. There's 3 locations. There's one outside Merrill. I think it's right there. There's one next to Surf and Sands between the Marketplace and Surf and Sands, and there is one at Fred Farr across the street. So go drink water. We built a great website, ecofarm2013.org, and you can view it on your cell phone. It's mobile ready, and it's pretty... It's up to date, and it's got really good descriptions. Everything you found in your program you can find on the website. And we are tweeting with the hashtag EcoFarm2013. So check that out for any news flashes and updates, and feel free to join the conversation, too, by using that hashtag. MP3 sales will be online after the conference. So if there are 2 workshops that you want to go to at the same time, you don't have to worry about it. You can just get the MP3 afterwards. That'll be nice. Visit the marketplace, which is the exhibitor marketplace in the big white tent next to Surf and Sands, sponsored by Mountain Feed and Farm Supply, one of our great sponsors. Stop by the EcoFarm booth within that tent to buy yourself one of our beautiful baby blue t-shirts. Stop by on Friday morning to participate in a scavenger hunt and win a bunch of awesome prizes and meet a lot of the exhibitors. That's another thing that's new this year. We are going to be checking badges and IDs at all events serving alcohol, so you won't be able to get a drink if you don't have your badge. So please keep those on you at all times. You shouldn't really be on grounds at all without them, so please everyone be sure to, when you wake up in the morning, put your badge on, okay? After the plenary, John Trudell and Brian Halweil will be holding book signings in the back of Merrill, right back there, and we'll be having the annual opening art reception in Nautilus with bee-themed art. It's going to be from 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. The beer is provided generously by Uncommon Brewers of Santa Cruz, so come on and get buzzed with us. Also, we already have the dates for the 2014 conference. So mark your crop rotations for January 21st through the 25th, 2014. Crop rotations. Nothing. All right. And here is Ken Dickerson, EFA's Executive Director, to kick us off. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello everybody. On behalf of the Ecological Farming Association, it's my pleasure to welcome one and all to the 33rd Annual Ecological Farming Conference. All right, 33. This conference is made possible by the important work that all of you do, and I want to thank you for all of your efforts in breathing your life and imagination into the world that you want to live in. I want to also thank the sponsors and food donors who see the logistics of making this event happen. They see to those logistics and make this conference a reality. EFA appreciates their vision and support and encourage you all to learn more about the companies and farms and support them in your choices. This conference is conceived in the over 450 workshop suggestions that come from all of you, but the fine-tuning and organization is done by the EcoFarm Planning Committee. Thanks to the beloved committee and the speakers and the moderators who pull this wonderful conference together for us all. And I also want to thank the Ecological Farming Association Board for doing the logistical work to make sure that the organization can hold together so that we can realize this every year. So thank you to the board also. I want to keep my comments brief so that we can hear from the plenary speakers tonight, but I want to plant a seed with your help and see how it grows. The conference was started 33 years ago by farmers and foodies who wanted to see a different set of values put into practice. They made their vision a reality and created an alternative organic and ecological food system that is and remains the fastest growing segment of the food economy for over a decade now. Vision, action, reality. I want to encourage all of us to imagine and work together to find solutions to replace all of the systems that are broken and no longer serve us, but rather exploit. They run on our support. Let's redirect that to things that we want to support because they carry the values that we support. We can do it one step at a time, reinvesting in ourselves and each other and ideas that support our values. You will find a survey in your packet. It presents some ideas for your input and asks for your guidance. As Jesse mentioned, if you fill it out, you have a chance to win a free EcoFarm 2014 with meals and lodging included. We created an alternative food system that realizes these values that we hold so dear. Let's leverage our common concern to expand our efforts to cure the ills of all the systems upon which our lives and our businesses depend. I would like now to introduce John Trudell for this evening's opening invocation. John Trudell is a co-founder of the American Indian Movement. He's been an incredibly important player in AIM. He was part of the Alcatraz occupation and operated the radio broadcasts from Alcatraz. He's one of the most prolific and well-known Native American poets and spoken word artists. He's the author of Stickman, a book of his poems. And John is a warrior for truth and now an industrial hemp activist with a discussion session on Friday that you're invited to join. Please join me in welcoming John Trudell for the EcoFarm Conference 2013 opening invocation.
Thank you. I appreciate all the kindness. I'm going to try to make as much sense as I can, but I'm old and I'm crazy, so so sometimes it gets in the way, but most time it doesn't. But I'm going to read a poem first, and then we'll just go. In this land, wild seed, life seeding life, and the earth is our mother, and the land is her flesh, and the water is her milk, and the oil is her blood, and we are her children. In this land we come from, of this earth we're made of, with us as future ancestors, given responsibilities to live. We are the future we bring. If we don't take care of the land, how can the land take care of us? Same with sky and air we breathe. It's time to remember tomorrow, today. In the reality of we reap what we sow, reality of life and land is in the seed. Seed has memory, memory of life. Wild seed memory, keeping alive, up close, face to face with the destroyers and their synthetic seed without memory, toxic planting poisons in earth and minds, discarding well-being into maximizing profit, abandoning the children to massive debt, making the price of freedom unaffordable at the expense of the many to benefit the few. Like a spreading of mad human disease, chaosing minds with liars' promises, seeding old fear with new fear, life in the world of the money man. We need to think our way out of what we believed our way into. How can we show respect to life if we don't use our common sense? See, and it's, kind of trying to figure out how I landed here, right? I mean, I like where I landed because I think the farm and the people of the land understand what's going on. So I think this is a good cultivating, to feed the world. Well, I don't know if this is appropriate to that idea, but I look at everything as energy, and if we're talking about feeding the world, food is energy, so I look at everything as energy in this dimensional reality that we're in. We're a human being. The being is our spirit. Our energy, the being, makes the human go. So everything that's ever going to happen in this dimensional reality is about energy. Everything. And when I look at, it's energy, and how do we cultivate energy in such a way to feed the world in the healthiest way possible? Well, I kind of think sometimes, maybe we need to look into our own minds, into our own essence, into our own being, into our own spirit. Because the energy we put into solving the problems we're confronted with, that energy will be in the solutions that we bring. So the energy we take to feed the world, I think the power of our intelligence, it should be the energy of clarity and coherency, the energy of understanding the knowledge that we know, the energy of clarity and coherency, the energy of common sense, to take this to feed the world. Because we need to make this decision. Do we do what we do because it really is all about love and life and understanding? Or how much do we do because it's about fear and frustration and reaction? Because we need to have these understandings within our own consciousness, because if what we're doing is about the energy of fear and frustration and reaction, then that energy will be in the solution that we feed to the world. The energy we bring, see, this is when we start the feeding, how we feed the world. And to understand the power of the energy that we have, the power of our intelligence, our creative mind. As human beings, the being, that gives us, that's our essence, that's our energy, that's what makes it happen. As the human part, we have intelligence, and how the human part of intelligence perceives reality says what will be done with the being part of who we are. And we are human beings. We are two things, human and being. We're not just human. We need to remember that we are human being, because the being, without the being, the human is useless. It's dust again. This is reality. So the energy that we bring, I think the energy that we bring about feeding the world, because when we cut through everything that's going on, we need to like ourselves. See, we have to like ourselves, because that's the kind of energy we need to bring back to life. The energy of liking ourselves. The power of our intelligence. and how much power that we have with our intelligence through our fears and doubts and insecurities, how bad can you make yourself feel? And how does that affect and interact and spread and contaminate or affect the people that you interact with? That's the power of our intelligence. That's the power of our intelligence used chaotically, incoherently. But it's the power of our intelligence. And or the power of our intelligence. So when we think about the power of our intelligence, our creative mind or imagination, if it's used with clarity, coherency, how the effect that this will have, if it's used to make sense, common sense, the effect that this will have on our interactions. See, so we need to think about the energy that we're bringing. We want to speak about feeding the world and cultivating the energy and feeding the world in a healthy way, then we need to bring healthy selves. And that's mentally and with self-image and how we see and perceive ourselves. It's important that we like ourselves. We have no reason not to. We have no reason not to. Because to me, it's about synchronizing with the energy of life. Synchronizing with the energy of life. Whatever it is that we're all about, in my own little crazy reality, whatever it is we're all about, see, I don't understand whatever our holy and our spirituality and all of that is all about. See, if we go around beating ourselves up inside of our heads, hidden behind fears and doubts and insecurities, then how I don't understand how that shows respect to the Creator. And I don't understand how that shows respect to life. I don't understand how that shows respect. See, I don't understand how we're going to create coherent solutions if we bring that energy in and we put it in as we're creating solutions. See, this is how this thing perpetuates itself. It's how it perpetuates itself, this energy that it's like we're being mind. Human being. The being part of human is the energy of the human. We're made up of the components of the earth, the elements, our DNA, metals, minerals, and liquids of the earth. We are of the earth. We are shapes and forms of the earth. We are of the earth. Our being is our energy, our spirit. All things of the earth are made up of the same DNA, same metals, minerals, and liquids of the earth. Whether you call it fossil fuel, you call it uranium, it does not matter what you call it. All things are made of the same thing. And we have being. Our being comes from our relationship to the sun, sky, universe. All things made of the same thing have the same relationship to the sky, sun, universe. All things have being. This is the reality. We're in a technological, perceptual, industrial mining reality. And it's about energy. They mine energy. They take the DNA of the earth, that's fossil fuel, or that's uranium, put it through a mining refinement process and convert its being into a form of power that they control and they manipulate, or they, to some degree, control it. But they manipulate. And this mining process leaves behind poison and toxic that's dangerous to the environment, to our very living environment, the energy of our living environment. Well, in order for there to be a need for all of that, they have to mine the being part of human, and they mine the being part of human through how the human is indoctrinated and imprinted to perceive reality. When the human is imprinted to perceive reality from a technological perceptional reality, then this is not a spiritual perception. This is not a spiritual perception of reality. It's a complete change over. It's a mining process. And this mining process of the being part of human through how the human is imprinted to perceive reality, it leaves behind poison and toxic waste, and that poison and that toxic waste that are dangerous to the life environment are the fears and the doubts and and insecurities that become a part of our individual perceptual reality as human beings. And then we start participating in this reality based upon our perception of our inabilities as manifested through our fears and our doubts, and then we try to hide all that with various prides and various kinds of things that all just add to the chaos. There's no clarity, nothing makes sense in it. So whatever it is we're going to feed, however we look for the solutions of what we're going after, the energy we bring will be in the solution or the perpetuation of the situation. I want to read another poem. This is called Afraid to Be Opened. The frightened prayed for more heavenly promises or any something to believe in. They have a feeling they know already what tomorrow is going to bring, if today is a preview left over from yesterday's previews. Maybe sometimes you have to be just a little crazier when you consider society's ills, the diseases of fear. It's obviously obvious the sane aren't doing that well. Some things we can't bring ourselves to say, unexplainable somethings and afraid to be opens, not hearing out loud what we already know we know, courting the madness of elusive and hollow pleasures. Do we want what we take or do we want what we get? Quicknessing in a quickness of diminishing treasures, dealers dealing with the reality of dealing with reality. There between nothing to gain and everything to lose, everything to gain and nothing to lose, plain disagree. Some feeling of worse, where just bad is looking better, making pride and self-esteem dangerous contenders, as the winner takes all, then finds out all is not enough. What really knows how things could have turned out, where the why and ways, the what happened. Memories of the rituals of our forgottens. Way fate and destiny are about choice and no choice. We enter, we visit, we leave is our fate. Life, death, life. How we enter, how we visit, how we leave is our destiny. See, so I'm running out of coherency here. If that was coherent anyway, I'm running out. So, so I'm not sure how exactly all this fits to what your program agenda is, right? But somewhere to me, in my crazy reality, it makes a lot of sense. But if it doesn't make sense to you, don't try to make it make sense. You know, never ever in this life, if something doesn't make sense, don't try to make it make sense. And I'm not asking you to believe me, I'm just asking you to think about it. Because that's the power of thinking. That's what's missing. The power of our intelligence, the process of thinking being used in a clear, coherent, common sense manner that's what's missing. That's what we have not been able to get our hands on. I started out in the 60s. Our intentions, our motives were good, but everything we did was based upon we emotionally react to what we believed. We didn't really take the time to think this thing out with some clarity and some coherency. And I think that's how they continue to get away from us. Anyway, I thank you.